All right, welcome to the Crash and AJ blog at 98rock.com for this, the 26th of August, 2019. Star Goddess on
Hi.
Monday to tell us how the week's going to go and what's the theme this week?
The theme this week is finish up stuff you've already started. We're in the last 5 days before the new moon, and normally you want to start things at the new moon, and then from the full moon to the new moon, you want to bring those things to fruition. There's not really a lot of energy to start new stuff. So and because the sun is in Virgo, Mercury joins us in Virgo at the end of the week, the new moon is in Virgo, Venus in Virgo, Mars in Virgo, a lot of Virgo stuff going on. So I think it's important to know where you can bring things to a successful climax before you go on to new stuff, which we'll talk about next week. So for Virgo, the sign that we are in, this is all about the Virgo getting what the Virgo wants, what the Virgo needs. The Virgo has put things into motion over the last couple of months or so, and now it's time to kind of wrap that up, dot all the I's, cross all the T's, and really have a clear understanding of what the Virgo has gotten themselves into. And to Virgos everywhere, I say, you cannot be perfect at everything, so pick the one or two things you can be perfect at and focus on those, and then leave the rest for the next couple of weeks to put new stuff in motion. Now it's time to bring the stuff you've already got going to a successful climax.
As far as like when you're talking about finishing stuff, is that for all the signs to finish?
For all the signs, they want to finish stuff up. And what I'm going to tell them is what area of their life they're going to be finishing things up in.
Okay.
So for Virgos, it's all about personal stuff. It's all about them being very selfish and getting what they want and what they need. For Libras, it is a good time just to take a step back and kind of regroup. And I can't help but think about our Bucks coach going, okay, so now what am I going to do? You know, getting a new quarterback, not a new quarterback, but a replacement quarterback, that kind of thing. It's a good time. Rather than making any kind of decisions right now, they sort of want to finish up the stuff that they've already got going. It's almost like a dance with the one that brung you. And rather than make decisions, you want to wait for this week to go by. And I think that makes sense if you're talking about somebody that's going to, be cutting players and stuff. You want to see what happens at Thursday night's game before you go ahead and go forward with it.
Vinny Testaverde Jr. is going to be
getting
a shot to get a lot of snaps this week. And will he make the roster? We're not sure
well,
yet,
and that's what we don't know yet, which is a good time just to sit back and see what kind of unfolds. It's that kind of a thing. And for Libras everywhere, it's a good idea just kind of not make any decisions right now. Kind of still taking stuff. And I would say take stuff under advisement would be the best answer for Libras. For Scorpios, on the other hand, it's a good time to reach a long-standing hope, wish, goal, or objective. And this is something Scorpios have been started a year ago, almost 2 years ago, to reinvent themselves, to create something, a new, improved kind of Scorpio. And now they find out how well received that's going to be, and they can finish that up. And they're going to tap their well-placed female friends and colleagues for help in doing it, rather than males. For Scorpios, it's the women and the light-eyed folks in particular that will help bring the Scorpio what the Scorpio said that they want.
The light-eyed folks, like your
light-eyed, like green eyes, like blue eyes, yeah,
Hazel eyes.
yeah, hazel eyes, anything other than dark brown eyes.
Wow.
Will actually be coming into speaking of which, will be coming into play. I know, and I got an email from an Asian listener and said, "Is just everybody you talk to white?" I was like, yikes, I don't know how to. With astrology, there are visual cues that an astrology gets, like light eyes is always Virgo, dimples is always Libra, gap between their front teeth is always Aries, like Eddie Murphy. And I don't really know how to relate that to Asian folk, to be able to tell you what kind of defining characteristics there are, because eye color is pretty much all brown.
Right.
So I hadn't even realized that.
Wow.
And tells you how insensitive I am. I didn't even think that would be a problem.
Wow.
But it was. So for Libras everywhere, take a step back. Scorpios get what it is that they say that they want. And again, they have to realize that they are going to get what they said they wanted, which may not be, because a lot of times we'll say we want something and think, oh, God will know what we're talking about. And the universe is a very literal place.
Physically say it.
Yeah. For Sagittarians, you ask inquisitively, since that's your rising sign, the emphasis on career and public standing. And for the last, Jupiter has been in your sign since last December, so you made a whole bunch of new starts. And since the 15th of August, some of those have started to go forward career-wise, professionally-wise, and you find out whether or not that's going to work. And I think that it's very positive for Sagittarians. And we have a couple of quarterbacks that just found out they got the starting job.
Oh.
One of them, the guy that's backing up Andrew Luck.
Yeah, Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah, he's a Sagittarian, and it's sort of, okay, I've been hoping for this big break. Now it's time to kind of put your money where your mouth is kind of a deal, a put up or shut up kind of a thing.
He looks like he's set up.
I think he's going to do great, and I think Sagittarians in general do very well professionally over the next week or so, and that the things that they put in motion come to be.
Okay.
For Capricorns, this is great energy because all of those, the Sun, all of those planets in Virgo trine Capricorn. And so Capricorns, legal matters go very well for them. Educational matters go very well for them. Important matters at a distance go their way. And they have been, there's some sort of legal thing or contract thing, and they've been waiting to get some information in order to make the right decision. And again, for me, I think that it works out very favorably for the Capricorn to wrap things up with that. And if you're involved in litigation, space court or not, I'm a big fan of settling that stuff rather than going to trial. I just am. For Aquarians, this energy is in the 8th house of other people's money, other people's resources. And Aquarians have to find a way that they can maximize the existing resources they have rather than looking for new resources to bring into the equation.
Remind me of the
Aquarius runs from January 20th until February 19th or so.
Gotcha.
And they find that banks are willing to lend them money, people are more than willing to help them out financially, but they have to know that that's going to come at a price. And Aquarians everywhere need to find out what that price is. Don't go into something open-ended. It's the kind of thing where you go and you get a payday loan and you realize afterwards that it's at 500% interest, that kind of a deal. So you got to be careful with that. And also with investments, make sure that the investment is what it purports itself to be, and it's not like a blue sky kind of thing or a pie in the sky kind of a thing. For Pisces, everybody is going to be looking at the Pisces. The Pisces are in the spotlight for one reason or another. They made a bunch of new starts. They've done very favorably. And now they get to see the result of that, and people are going to tell them what they think that they're doing. And Pisces got to be careful not to say, they have to be careful not to criticize something because they'll get the job to fix it, which is always the challenge. It's one thing to go, yeah, this is what I think you want to do, and then people go, okay, we'll do it.
While everybody's watching you.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone's going to notice what you say at the same time.
Exactly. So. But the thing that they have to realize is they have the ability to do something really great with this energy. The universe is not going to stop them from being successful with it. So if they're ever going to take a leadership role, now is kind of the time to do that, to step on up and take that swing because they're likely to hit one out of the park with it. And I know you're looking at me thinking, what does this mean to my son?
Yeah, right.
I think that in school that he does very well with that, and the teacher kind of likes him, which will go very well for him too. And I don't know whether they do any kind of class assignments or any kind of attaboys, but I think they end up getting one. I think they get recognized for the stuff that they've already done, which is a cool thing.
Yeah.
You just got to notice whatever you say, everyone's going to notice.
Everybody's going to notice it. Yeah, it's going to be on blast, so make sure you know what you're talking about. Yikes. For Aries, it's about work. This is not about a professional thing. This is about where it is you do your job and the way it is you do your job, not the job that you do. It's kind of like there are new directions coming down, there's new directives coming down, and the Aries has to realize that if they go ahead and incorporate that, they can do their job better. They can get a better result with it. But if they're not willing to embrace the change, they will struggle a lot more with it. And that's where free will really gets into it, kind of a deal. You know, that you have to choose to say, okay, if this is what the new requirements are, I'm going to go ahead and do it, instead of saying, no, I want to wear the same helmet I've been wearing for 12 years. You know, it's that kind of a thing. They're new, just embrace them. Don't even struggle with it, because it's actually going to end up being better for the Aries. They'll have a better, when all is said and done by the end of the week, they will find that this new start professionally is a very, work-wise, is a really good one for them.
Some people just, I've noticed like some people when something change comes or a suggestion comes, there's people that automatically go, no.
Yeah, just no.
Yeah,
Your first words are no.
Answer,
yeah.
And that's the automatic answer.
And it gets like, again, with the football helmet deal.
Yeah.
You know, that same kind of thing.
I don't want to do that. I'm not changing my helmet.
I don't want to do it. It's like, I want a concussion. Okay. You know, and I think that the easier time comes from saying, okay, let me embrace this. And I just don't think they're going to.
Yeah.
Because they're kind of headstrong folks, the way Aries is. So, for Taurus, as you ask, it is the best time for Taurus in probably a year and a half to 2 years.
All right.
All of these planets
Been a while
being
for
in
you.
Virgo is Taurus's 5th house of love affairs, children, sports, amusements, pleasures, entertaining, anything fun, anything creative is all very favorable for the Taurus.
Really?
Yeah.
Very
And they have to be careful with that because by creating things, these things can take on a life of their own.
Yeah.
And then you end up getting another job on top of the 8 or 9 you already have. It's that kind of a thing.
Well, I'm unloading a couple, so here
Well,
we
good, then
go.
you'll see, well, that will give you room. And that's the thing, sort of when you clear the decks for new action,
Yeah.
it's almost like nature hates a vacuum. And if you have if you're done doing some kind of responsibility, a new one will be able to come in.
Room for more jobs.
Yeah, there you
clear out some
go.
other jobs, get
But
some
these,
new jobs.
I gotta tell you, AJ, I think the one that's coming is a lot more fun. It's a lot more creative, and you have a lot more control over it, which would be a nice thing. So I know that you're giving up one job, but I gotta tell you, I think you get another one right behind it.
Well, thank you.
So,
All right.
and I don't think it's a bad thing for you. I think it's very creative and fun, and put a couple of bucks in your pocket too while you're at it.
I like all the above. I'm a
Yeah,
very creative
exactly.
person, so,
And
who
you
doesn't want
are.
money? Woohoo!
And it's the unleashing of that creativity
Yeah.
that brings a lot of gratification because again, you'll be right about it,
Hey.
and you'll be successful with it. So you gotta like all of that.
Janet for president.
That's right. For Geminis, and I'm glad Ryan's not here right now because this is not a particularly good week for Geminis.
I
It's
know.
no. All these planets are in their 4th house of home, and they made a bunch of changes. Their home life is not exactly where they want it to be. They're going to continue to try and fight to make it the way they want it to be.
He got thrown into the fire with his move. He just
Yeah,
had
he's
to
had-
settle for something really quickly. So
It's been like one thing or another leading up to
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, and he had a bunch of trouble, trying to get it done. So he's still off balance with that. And there's some sort of mess that they have to clean up at home. And before they can go forward, they have to clean up that mess. And this week allows them to sweep that debris out of their life. And because once that's done, they get to make their home and foundations more secure and safe. It's just the getting to the what do I throw out, what do I keep kind of deal. And that can even be people. I mean, sometimes there are people that drag you down and you kind of feel obligated to them.
Yeah.
And if you just cut them loose, you'll do a lot better with it.
Okay.
It's just hard to do.
Yeah.
For Cancers, the pace of the day-to-day living picks up to warp speed. They have a lot of out and backs here and there, short distance, short duration travel. There's some sort of class or some sort of learning that a Cancer can get that can enable them to make more money down the road. It's not that they make more money right away, but whatever this additional educational opportunity is or a chance to learn something a little bit different, it will end up serving them in good stead when the eclipse comes in January on their sign. And it's the stuff that they put into motion that they're finishing up, that they've already put into motion that will put them in good stead for the promotion that comes as a result of this in January.
So it can be not only vocational information, but it can be just a heads up.
A heads
gives you
up.
Information so you can get ahead of something.
Exactly, and it has to do with freeing up the Cancer so the Cancer has more freedom of movement and freedom of choice, is what that is. And then for Leo's our last sign. You ask, it's about the money. It's about making more money. It's about
Jeez.
It really is. It's a very good energy for Leos to. They again, much like other signs, they tried over the last 2 years to create something new in their life, and all of a sudden that deck is cleared for that kind of an action. And whatever it is, it ends up. And I can't imagine how starting a band would bring you more money, but
Well, that's almost done. I'm really close to that.
That's what I mean,
I'm
and
gonna
you
go
can
get a bigger
bring-
wallet if all this money's coming in
you
right now.
you can be able to
Yeah.
actually put that together by the new moon on Friday.
All right.
Actually have a working plan
Some things
for
going on,
it.
yeah.
And then the upshot is, because I know you're doing it for the creative end of it, and because you're a Leo and you need another place to shine, but there's money going to be at the end of that too.
All right.
So financially, it's really a good place for Leo to be. And
Okay.
there are documents that need to be signed, I think. I don't know whether it's new endorsements or...
Could be. Like there's a little bit of that going on. I mean,
Yeah.
there's some other little things going on in the background there.
And they all add up to more money at the end of your month and more month at the end of your money, which you have to like that.
I got a little
So,
actual property I've been working on that's almost there too.
oh, I
so,
like
yeah.
it. I like it.
So this
Same
could be-
type of
all right,
thing.
nice,
So,
nice.
tomorrow's news today for the 12 signs of the zodiac. I'm kind of looking forward to all these planets in Virgo, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, bring it on.
Being a Virgo, and yeah, Taurus, yes, throw us in that briar patch because Leo is really rough for Taurus.
All
The
right.
sign of Leo from the middle of, from the 22nd of July till the maybe yesterday, day before. Little rough for Tauruses.
Still, yeah, it still felt like it was like it Mercury.
Yeah.
retrograde
It's like it
still.
never ends, and that also has to do with Mercury is finally going into Virgo, so it's done with all that Leo stuff where it had been retrograde. So, I'm cautiously optimistic about the future.
Awesome. Well, definitely.
So-
And you should be. Happy early birthday. by
Oh,
the
thank you
way.
so much.
There you go.
Our very own Virgo.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, well, that's basically what we do on Mondays around
That's right.
here. So if you like this one, every Monday you get a podcast. You have the Crash and AJ blog with Star Goddess there.
And they can always, call us.
Yep, hit us up.
And they
what's
can
your
ask.
email site?
Oh, stargoddess98rock.com.
You guys have a great
More
rest of your
information
day.
than they ever needed to know about astrology.